that you'd just be at the bar and the bar shuts and you go, rightio, we're going to Wade's camp, Wade's Gooseneck, and you go there and there'll be, God, 50 to 100 cowboys just sitting around drinking, doing whatever for fun, like I've seen some wild things at gooseneck parties. I've seen fights, I've actually seen people like relationships start and then they get married a couple of years later and I was like, I was there that night. You know, I've seen we have contests on like motorized scooters and like people riding horses bareback and people doing burnouts in cars, It's so it's such a staple in Australian rodeo is like, oh, we're having a gooseneck party. But you'll never be able to plan one if you go, oh yeah, come, we're going to have a gooseneck party at this rodeo. If you plan it, no one rocks up. It's always just on a random night. You didn't think anything was going to happen, and the gooseneck party happens. And that's where I've heard a lot of these stories from friends, or even some of my stories have been told at gooseneck parties. And it's just it's a part of who I was as a young fella, and it's still a part of me now. Like if I go to a rodeo and I'm at the bar, I know, yeah, all right, we'll just see who's got the most beers at whose camp, and that's whose gooseneck party we're having. And like the songs on there are all either true songs or stories that I've heard around trailers. There's only one song on there that I didn't hear at a trailer, but I was at home and I was watching a Western on Netflix, and I can't remember what Western it was, but I remember I had this like weird, vivid dream about it, and like I was in it and all this, and I wrote a song about it. And it's called Cody, Wyoming. I couldn't think of a town cool enough, and I was like, oh, I need to think of a town. And then it was the same time that the 100 Days of Rodeo were happening at Cody, Wyoming. So I was like, oh, perfect. I'll just use that town name for this story. And yeah, it's a bit more Culture Wall style, that song, but the rest of it, yeah, it's a pretty diverse album. Like it goes from country rock to, that nice Brooks and Dunn slow down. That it goes up and down. Same at the beginning, like the beginning had them rock songs and then it had other types of songs. It's hard. I don't really stick to one sound. I'm like, I'll try a bit of everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, this album, I hope people resonate with it as much as me and Australian Cowboys will, because the Gooseneck Party is like the holy trinity of parties in my eyes. Like you could go to the nightclubs and all that, but you ain't partied unless you've had a Gooseneck Party.
Yeah, dude, that's the first time I've ever heard that phrase. I love it. I hope.
Well, we released a song today too, like called Gooseneck Party, so check it out after you.
Yeah, definitely.
And it explains exactly what a gooseneck party is. Like you'll go to the rodeo, you'll travel 8 hours to go to this rodeo one way, and you go there and you miss or you buck off, and you've just got the shits, and there's only one thing that you could think of that'll make you feel better, and it's just having a gooseneck party. And like they just it's almost like tailgating, I would say. If I could compare it to something, it's like tailgating at sports over there, except it's in a horse trailer and there's no bins. Like everyone just sort of drinks their beer, crushes it, leaves it on the ground next to them, and whoever's gooseneck that was at, their whole morning the next day is like, God, look at all these beer cans. They got to clean up all these beer cans, and there's cigarette packets everywhere. The best thing I've ever found at a gooseneck party was my mate's hat, and it was just like this brand new cowboy hat, and it was just crushed flat. It looks like he's got too drunk and laid backwards and just fell on it, and then got up to the toilets and left it. Stuff like that. And that song that released today, along with the album announcement, it epitomizes what a real gooseneck party is.
Yeah, it's funny. So, hopefully it catches on. Like if you go to a Wade show, you're not tailgating. Yeah,
No, we're having a gooseneck party.
Yeah, somebody's got to roll up. Someone's got to roll up with a gooseneck.
Someone bring their big X's. We gotta. Don't worry about putting horses in there. Just put coolers. You just call them coolers, right? Like the where you put beer and ice in. That's a cooler.
Yeah.
Because in Australia it's an esky. It's so foreign for me to say that. Like cooler. I don't even know. Cooler's not a word in Australian.
Yeah, especially with the weather, right?
Yeah. That's all it would be. Yeah, it's getting cooler.